Good evening, baseball fans, and welcome to another presentation of Trinity Baseball on the Tiger Network. It is a humid night, and we are hoping to avoid the rain to get a good game of baseball in. We've got two familiar teams as the Trinity Tigers, ranked top in the nation, host the Texas Lutheran Bulldogs for what will actually be a non-conference matchup. Luke, we found out today that Trinity is back atop Division III baseball. What was your reaction to those rankings?
Well, Brian, like you are, I'm sure I'm a little biased. I'm sure that you agree with me that Trinity's certainly done enough. They have the resume to be atop the rankings, especially after a top 20 series win against Centenary this past weekend, especially considering the fact that Washington U very nearly swept against an opponent that we didn't see having that capacity. So Trinity certainly has done everything this year. They've hit well, they've pitched well, they've played defense, and it's no surprise to see them back atop the standings today.
Yeah, it certainly is nice to see them right there at the top, and I can't believe this is the final home game of the year for the Tigers. Before we get started, let's take a look at the lineup for the visiting Bulldogs. Leading off in left field, Caleb Molly. Batting second in center field, Colin Motzinger. Batting third, second baseman Austin Colon. Batting cleanup, right fielder Tyler Colley. At shortstop, batting fifth, Joe Jimenez. Batting sixth, first baseman Tyler Post. Third baseman, batting seventh, Randy Huerta. The designated hitter, batting eighth, Simon Scales. And catching, batting ninth, Colin Docker. And now the lineup for your Trinity Tigers. Leading off in right field, Rafe Chomet. Batting second, second baseman Colt Harris. Batting third at shortstop, Jack Wisniewski. Hitting cleanup, left fielder Brian Schaub. Batting fifth, the center fielder Mason Meredith. Batting sixth, the designated hitter Christian Holloway. Batting seventh at first base, Michael Goodrich. Batting eighth, the third baseman MJ Metz. And batting ninth and catching, Matt McNaney. On the mound for the Tigers for the first time, Cash Crane. Luke, what do you think we can expect from Crane tonight?
Well, I certainly expect to see a guy that's coming right at hitters. You see in that shot, pretty typical arm slot out of Crane. This is going to be an exciting midweek matchup for us. We have the two top teams in the SCAC tonight, but you certainly wouldn't expect either of these coaching staffs to show their entire hands, especially not what they have on the mound as we near the conference tournament coming soon at the end of the season.
Yeah, each team has one conference series remaining. TLU goes to Centenary, and the Tigers head to Southwestern. But they have this midweek game before that and the conference tournament. We are just about ready for first pitch here in San Antonio. Mentioned it is a humid night, very muggy. Caleb Molly getting set to step into the batter's box facing Crane. You see Molly hitting .364 on the year, 21 runs batted in, has scored 22 runs as well at the top of the order. First pitch from Crane here is outside for ball one. And Molly fouls that one the other way. TLU in first place of the SCAC, just ahead of the Tigers with a 13-2 conference record. The Tigers 12-2, so just one fewer game played. And Molly grounds that one to the shortstop Wisniewski. Collects it for the first out of the game.
And a good job by Crane in that at-bat right there. Might have been able to see him after that first pitch, shaking his throwing hand a little bit, kicking himself because he knew that he didn't finish that pitch the way he wanted to, came back, delivered the next two really nicely, drew himself even, and threw a second consecutive pitch in the zone, forcing Molly to swing the bat.
Cullen Mutzinger now at the plate. He looks at that pitch inside for a ball. These two teams played each other a week ago in Seguin for another one of these midweek non-conference games. And Motzinger had himself quite the day, going 3 for 6 as he looks at that one outside for a ball. Motzinger went 3 for 6 with 4 runs batted in. The Tigers pulled out a victory 13-12. Expecting to see a lot of runs once again here. After that foul ball, Crane ready to go for this 2-1 pitch. And Motzinger lines that one the other way, and that'll get into right field for a base hit.
Yeah, and a good piece of hitting by Motzinger right there. Early on, Crane looks really good, really comfortable, is operating in the zone. Bit surprising to see just how good he's been early on in this one, considering the fact that this is his first appearance on the year, has a lot of movement on his pitches right now, especially that two-seam fastball is doing pretty much exactly what he wants it to be.
That first pitch to Austin Colon outside for a ball. Colon with a home run on Sunday for TLU against Schreiner. They had to go to extra innings to pull out that victory. That pitch is low and in the dirt.
One thing is worth noting at this point, Crane, bit inexperienced on the mound this season specifically, has fallen behind in all 3 counts so far that he's had today. It's been a pretty big key to success that we've mentioned pretty much in every broadcast so far this year. So that's certainly something that the Tiger veteran's going to look to turn around as he works into tonight.
And that one in the dirt gets past McNaney. So Motzinger will advance to second. 3-0 count now on Colon. You see the replay here.
Yeah, and he threw 2 changeups in a row right there. Pretty much the same result on each pitch. Certainly won't be happy with himself right there. As a pitcher on the mound, when you make a mistake, you certainly look to make the adjustment pretty much immediately, especially at this level of competition.
And that ball hits Colon, would have been ball 4 anyway. Instead, a hit by pitch. So runners on first and second now for the Bulldogs. And we mentioned that we're expecting a lot of runs. That's because TLU's tied for the second most runs in the entire nation. Trinity, meanwhile, 6th. So we've got 2 top 10 offenses here. Facing off, already 2 base runners for the Bulldogs in the top of the first, and a visit to the mound from pitching coach Dave Smith.
Yeah, and Coach Smith makes sure that freshman catcher McNaney comes out for this visit. McNaney's going to have a really, really important job tonight. Crane, a guy that has a ton of movement on his pitches, will be especially important in this one for McNaney to understand where he's setting up and how that's going to affect where Crane starts his pitches and where they end up finishing tonight.
After the visit, cleanup hitter Tyler Colley is ready to face Crane. Colley tied with Brian Schaub of the Tigers with the most home runs in the conference. And he sends that first pitch the other way. Should be foul and out of play. Colley also tied with his teammate Tyler Post with 10 home runs. Colley actually hit 2 home runs this past weekend against Schreiner. 1 in each game of Saturday's doubleheader. That 0-1 pitch to Colley, low and away. Luke, you mentioned the first 3 hitters Crane got behind, was able to get strike 1 here. Now an even count 1-1. We'll see how that impacts the result of the at-bat. That one in the dirt again. McNaney able to block it, keep the runners right where they are. And that one outside and away. So a 3-1 count for Colley. Has the advantage here early, trying to get the Bulldogs on the board first.
Yeah, and right now is going to be a really important time for Crane to make an adjustment. His misses have been pretty consistent on the night. Missed down quite a bit so far, but has been pulling everything glove side.
And that one in the dirt once again gets away from McNaney. But that's ball 4, so the bases will be loaded. Just 1 down here in the top of the first. Joe Jimenez coming up to bat for the Bulldogs. A big opportunity here for the Bulldogs early. Crane, the first pitch to Jimenez, is chopped to third base, but that'll be foul.
Again, second consecutive batter where Crane works ahead in the count early on. Seems like in order to have success tonight, he's going to need to get back to what he did in that first at-bat, and that is pitch to contact. It's what the Tiger pitchers have done and found the most success with so far this season. No one in the staff stands out as a big strikeout pitcher.
That one is lined to left field. Brian Staub there, and he is unable. He does get that one, so he makes a catch there, throws it into the infield. Crane telling his third baseman to throw over to second, check on the bag, and he is out there. So some confusion on the base paths here. Jimenez flied out to left field.
Yeah, and it looked like they're ruling that Staub came up with a catch there. Runner at third did tag, didn't leave early or anything. We'll make another check over there. Umpires' attention span has kind of dwindled at this point. See on the replay right here.
So Staub does make the catch there. Runner at third did tag up, but did Cologne get back to second? He did. So, after all that, 1 run scored on the sacrifice fly by Joe Jimenez. Bulldogs up 1-0 early. Tyler Post now at the plate. That ball outside the post, and that sacrifice fly is something the Bulldogs are used to seeing. They actually have the most sacrifice flies in the entire nation when it comes to Division III baseball. That's number 29 on the year. Post ready for the 2-0. That one's low. McNaney unable to come up with it, so runners advance once again. 2 runners now in scoring position with 2 outs.
Yeah, tough job behind the plate tonight for McNaney. Crane missing low right now, and a fastball right there. McNaney just gets crossed up a little bit. Tough spot to be stuck in. Unsure whether he should just turn his glove over, if he needs to go down and try and block that one. Looks like the Tigers will go ahead and put Post on first base here, loading the bases to.
And an early pitching change for the Tigers. Cash Crane will exit with 2 outs in the top of the first. We'll take a quick break and be right back on the Tiger Network. A new pitcher on the mound for the Tigers. His first pitch fouled off. At the plate is Randy Huerta. And it looks like Alex Bin on the mound for the Tigers. He has an 0-1 count on Huerta. Trying to limit the damage to 1. Bulldogs already putting 1 run across. He lines that one foul. So a good swing on that one. But an 0-2 count for Bin out of the bullpen. This is Bin's first ever appearance for the Tigers. And that's a called third strike. So in Bin's first collegiate at-bat, gets a strikeout with the bases loaded to get out of that big jam. Bulldogs do put across 1 run. Tigers coming to bat in the bottom of the first. Welcome back to the Tiger Network. We're in the bottom of the first inning. TLU up 1-0. Rafe Chomet to the plate for the Tigers to lead off. Rafe hitting .407 on the year. Sees that first pitch for a strike. Homer twice this past weekend against Centenary.
Yeah, snuck one out on us, too. Originally thought that one was a foul ball, but you quickly corrected me on that one.
And he lines that one into right field for a base hit. And with that base hit, Rafe has tied Jeremy Wolf on Trinity's all-time hit list. You see that base hit into right field. Now 5th all-time.
Yeah, and a great piece of hitting by Chomet right there. Hampton, the freshman on the mound for the Bulldogs, threw Chomet a couple of breaking balls, what looked like a couple of big looping curve balls. Chomet took the first pitch of the at-bat, but saw it again, hung up in the air a little bit too long, and he did exactly what he wanted to with it. Turned on it and pulled it quickly into right field.
That's hit number 249 on the career for Chomet. A big accomplishment, climbing the leaderboard in Trinity history. Has a couple more to go, possibly. Might see that later today. Colt Harris swings at that one, sends it in the infield to the other side. That's recorded for the out.
Yeah, Harris looked like he was just a bit out in front on that pitch. That one off the end of the bat. You can see from the last shot that the flags are blowing in just a bit. Really humid here in San Antonio. Air very dense. Ball not going to travel nearly as far as it did this past weekend.
Jack Wisniewski steps to the plate, one of the Tigers, to see the ball fly out of the ballpark over the weekend. Hit a home run in Sunday's game. Looks at that first pitch, low for a ball. Tigers had 6 home runs over the weekend.
I think the most impressive part of that was the number of Tigers that hit home run. Wisniewski currently at the plate, hit one out. Chomet at first base, hit one out. Goodrich, Staub, had a number of different Tigers flash their power in this past weekend series. And wouldn't be surprised if we saw someone get a hold of one tonight after the explosion of runs last week in this non-conference matchup.
Hampton checks on Rafe over there at first. These two teams are 1-2 in the conference in home runs. TLU with 39, Trinity with 31. Wisniewski sends that one the other way. Shortstop had vacated that hole, and Rafe Chomet will get to third. So an opposite field single for Jack Wisniewski, and the Tigers have runners at the corners in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, it looked like a really great hit and run. No better Tiger hitter than to put that play on with right there. Wisniewski, someone we've talked about consistently, being willing to use the entire field. Left-handed hitter right there means that on movement at first base, the shortstop will be the defensive player covering the bag at second, allowing the second baseman to stay home on the pull hitter.
That'll bring the cleanup hitter, Brian Staub, to the plate. Can't have a conversation about home runs without his name, as he sends that one in the air to left field. But that will be playable. Rafe Chomet tagging up at third, and he's going to score. So Staub ties this game up with a sacrifice fly to left field. So see Staub just getting underneath it, but still driving it far enough to drive in the run.
Yeah, that one a little bit off the bat. Molly out there in left field for the Bulldogs. Camped under this one. Had an opportunity to get behind it, seemed like, but Chomet on third base, even if he had come up, made a strong throw home. Doesn't feel like he would have had a chance to get the speedy right fielder for the Tigers.
Now Mason Meredith swings at the first pitch, sends it the other way. Right fielder Tyler Colley charges in for the out, so the side is retired, but Trinity Tigers get that run back in the first, so we're all tied up, headed to the top of the second here on the Tiger Network. Welcome back to the Tiger Network. This is Brian Jenselson on the call with Luke Terry, and we have a new voice joining us, Josh Muchigemba. Josh, thanks for joining us tonight. That first pitch of the inning is driven to right field. Rafe Chomet there for the out. That's Simon Scales sending it the other way for the long out number one.
Alex Bin, a freshman on the mound for the Tigers, someone that we haven't seen much of this year, has really come in and taken upon himself to match what this staff is best at, and that's operating in the zone. Done a great job in both at-bats so far today. Does so again right there, getting ahead.
Yeah, quite the moment to come in for the first time ever in your collegiate career with the bases loaded. In the first inning, he got the out. Now has that line drive to shortstop. Wisniewski unable to come up with it. That's Colin Docker with the line drive single.
Yeah, and a nice piece of hitting by Docker right there. But as you mentioned, great job by Ben. His first appearance coming in and in style, striking out Texas Lutheran hitter looking. Froze him with that fastball on the inside part of the plate and had the entire Tiger dugout pumped up.
For the Bulldogs, we're back at the top of the order. Caleb Molly, left-hander, will face a left-handed pitcher. That breaking ball looped in there for a strike. Molly grounded out to shortstop in his first at-bat. And right there, Ben gets the runner going, but unable to come up with the out. Docker took off on the first move, and it looks like they had a play on him at second, but he's able to speed on over there safely.
Yeah, and we'll see the replay right here. Looked like the Bulldog runner was taking off on first movement. Ben was anticipating that. Goodrich made a good, strong throw right there.
And that ball gets behind the backstop, and Docker will now move over to third. So just a second ago over at first base, now suddenly 90 feet away. In last week's game against Trinity, Molly went 3 for 4, had a home run and 2 runs batted in. So a good performance for the leadoff hitter, now looking to drive in a run. Another breaking ball that gets in there for a strike, so that pitch has looked good early.
Yeah, I'd certainly agree with you right there. Big looping breaking ball. Lefty on lefty. Ben has the advantage on the mound right there. Wouldn't be surprised to see that a couple more times in this at-bat, but perhaps on the other side of the plate rather than leaving it up over for the Bulldog leadoff hitter.
The count now 2-2 for the leadoff hitter, and you can see him choking up on his bat with 2 strikes. And that breaking ball gets in there once again for a called third strike, absolutely freezing Molly.
Yeah, and this is an even better pitch than those first 2. This one just catches the inside part of the plate. Absolutely nothing Molly could do with that one right there. And Ben puts himself in contention for a clean inning right here after runner was able to take second and advance to third on a pass ball with only 1 out.
Cullen Motzinger now at the plate for his second at-bat of the evening. He singled in his first at-bat, has 2 outs and a runner on third. Docker trying to put the Bulldogs back up ahead. And that pitch high for a ball. But Ben doing a good job against Molly, who just had to put the ball in play to try to drive in that run, but was able to get the strikeout instead. So now 1 out away from getting out of the inning. That ball on the outside corner for a strike.
Yeah, much tougher out right here in Motzinger, just based on the fact that right-handed hitter standing in the batter's box right now, Ben, his pitches moving towards Motzinger. So you see in those first couple of pitches of this at-bat, really trying to paint the edges of the zone, got the strike call to get back in at 2-1, but falls behind right there on a really close miss on another really good curveball.
Motzinger ahead 3-1. He fouls that one straight back.
What we saw out of Ben in that first inning, first batter he faced was going hard in a situation like this. Wouldn't be surprised to see the same thing right here.
And that 3-2 pitch inside looks like it hit the bat of Motzinger. Close to hitting him, but it hit the bat instead. So a foul ball, and we'll do the 3-2 once again. Cullen Motzinger at the plate. Runner on third and 2 outs in the top of the second. That breaking ball once again in there. Motzinger trying to wait back on it, fouls it away.
Now Ben, after getting back into this count, pushing it full, really mixing up his pitches. Saw him work in with a tight breaking ball, worked back outside.
That pitch just low for ball 4, so Motzinger able to draw the walk after a good at-bat. Runners at the corners now with 2 outs. Austin Colon will step to the plate. Another left-handed hitter for Ben to face.
Yeah, but a good job in that at-bat by Ben right there. Fell behind early, understanding that there's no need to give Motzinger a pitch that was too good to hit right there with a couple of bases open. Opts to face the next hitter right here.
And the runner is going. Motzinger able to steal second. McNaney's throw too late there, so 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs. We'll see if Ben can get out of this one. Got out of that bases loaded jam in the first. Another breaking ball to a left-handed hitter. Colon sees that one for a strike.
Yeah, a little bit surprising we didn't see that on the first pitch of this at-bat, but another really great breaking ball right there. Would anticipate that we see a couple more right here just because he's had left-handed hitters frozen on that pitch already this inning, and even if Colon decides to pick the bat up off his shoulder, going to be really difficult to get solid contact on that ball.
Cologne has a 1-1 count. Fouls that one back. And for two teams that play each other so many times, must be an advantage to be able to throw in a pitcher who has never been seen before. Bulldogs have no idea what they're out after here today. That breaking ball hits Cologne right on the back. So with a 1-2 count, been unable to finish off the inning, now has once again bases loaded and 2 outs.
Yeah, and he was recognized earlier this year as such. Took home Hitter of the Week honors back in Week 8. Really impressive offensive showing from the Bulldogs this year as they've taken home 4 of the last 5 Hitter of the Week honors handed out by the SCAC.
Colley swings through that pitch. Big cut at that one. That 1-1 pitch fouled off by Colley, so another chance here with 2 strikes to get out of the inning for Ben. Colley is 3rd in the conference with 39 runs batted in. Has 3 on base here that he's trying to get in. Tie ball game here in the top of the 2nd. Ben's 1-2 on the way. And popped up the other way. Will it stay in play? Not quite. So another chance for Colley with the bases loaded.
Yeah, but another thing that we've seen Tiger pitchers do really well this year is when they do get ahead in at-bats, even when those at-bats are prolonged, they do a really good job of keeping the count right where it's at. So although Colley able to fight a pitch off right there, Ben stays ahead in this one 1-2, with a chance to get out of the inning.
And that 1-2 fouled off yet again. So a good battle here between Colley and Ben with 2 outs and the bases loaded of a tie ball game. Still in the 2nd inning.
Colley, a veteran presence at the plate for the Bulldogs, is going to keep fighting pitches off. Ben's just going to have to stay consistent, refuse to throw anything over the heart of the plate right here. Doing a good job again right there, painting the black with a fastball down and inside to the right-handed hitter.
That last pitch did catch a lot of the plate, but Colley unable to put it in play. So once again, the 1-2 upcoming from Ben, who looks in for the sign. We'll see what he goes to try to get Colley out here. And he swings and misses at that pitch. So Ben gets the veteran Colley down swinging with the bases loaded. Bulldogs strand 3, and the ball game remains tied headed to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Welcome back to San Antonio. Tigers able to get out of that bases loaded jam thanks to Alex Bin with the 2 strikeouts. Now Christian Holloway leading off the bottom half of the inning. That ball outside for ball 2. Jonathan Hampton still on the mound after allowing a run in the first. Holloway fouls that one past the third base coach.
Holloway stands in today after going 1 for 4 in the conclusion of the weekend series on Sunday against Centenary. Tiger freshman did have a really hard hit ball, just unfortunately directly at the shortstop for the Gents this past weekend. So another Tiger freshman showing how bright the future is for the program.
Holloway goes down swinging on that nice off-speed pitch from Hampton.
Yeah, a really great pitch by Hampton right here. Holloway fouling a couple of balls off down that third base line. Looked like Hampton threw perhaps a changeup right there, pulled the string on Holloway, was able to get the strikeout.
Now Michael Goodrich steps to the plate. He had a big weekend, homered in each game of Saturday's doubleheader, including the go-ahead home run. Tigers were down 6-5 in Game 1, and Goodrich homered to right field, putting the Tigers ahead and ultimately allowed them to win the game. Waits back on that 0-1 pitch, lines it to third, but a nice stop over there by Huerta, and that's 2 quick outs to start the bottom of the second.
Yeah, and after Hampton got that strikeout of Holloway to start the inning, had the freshman way out in front. I was going to say that's going to be a much more difficult job to get Goodrich out in that same manner. Goodrich pulls a pitch really hard to the left side of the infield. Unfortunately, Huerta over there at third base for the Bulldogs made a really nice play. Able to snag that one, made a nice strong throw over to first base to record the second out here of the inning.
First pitch to MJ Metz outside for a ball. Metz in the 8 hole today, hitting .313, has driven in 14 runs and 2 home runs, so power all the way through in this Tigers lineup from top to bottom. Metz will have a 2-0 count. And make that 3-0 as that one's high. So Hampton falling behind Metz here after 2 quick outs to start the inning.
Yeah, and certainly an interesting position for the Tigers. Already with 2 outs here in the inning.
And that pitch low as well. So a 4-pitch walk to MJ Metz. He'll stroll on over to first. Bring up the bottom of the order, catcher Matt McNaney.
Something that we saw a lot of this weekend was Tigers' proficiency to bring runs across with 2 outs in the inning. Something that they did in a couple of 5th innings this weekend with great success.
And McNaney swings at that first pitch, drives it into left field for a single. So an aggressive approach at the plate. McNaney getting just his 4th hit of the year in his 11th at bat.
Yeah, maybe the Tigers attempting to get to 2 outs right here before they get something going, knowing how much success they've had with it on the year. McNaney does a great job anticipating a first pitch strike right there after Hampton walked Metz on 4 pitches. Gets exactly that, turns on one, and deposits it right in front of the left fielder.
Rafe Chomet will step to the plate with 2 runners on and 2 outs. Rafe swings at that first one, unable to connect. Rafe, in his last at-bat, got that base hit, number 249 in his career, tying Jeremy Wolf for 5th all-time in Trinity history. Will try to claim 5th place all alone with a base hit here. And that pitch is high, bringing the count to 1-1. .249 on his career. That's hit 51 just this year. So Rafe having a spectacular 2021 season. He sends that one the other way. Will go foul. And we joked this weekend that Chomet came in hitting .409 and somehow managed to increase that batting average as things went along. Actually came in with a .407 batting average today, and he's obviously increased it with the base hit, hitting .411. And that's .411 from the leadoff hitter, who gets plenty of at-bats. The 1-2 here to Rafe. And he grounds that. Second baseman gets it and records the out at first, so a nice job by Hampton covering first base, and the Tigers strand 2 runners, so both teams stranding a few in the second inning. We'll head to the top of the third. TLU and Trinity tied at 1. A few runners left on by both teams in the second. We're back here for the top of the third. Alex Bin still on the mound. Joe Jimenez at the plate for the Bulldogs. Bin able to get out of a bases loaded situation by striking out the cleanup hitter Colley. That pitch fouled. Maybe. Will it stay in play? Not quite.
Yeah, it looked like that one just snuck into the bullpen. A little bit surprising off the bat of a right-handed hitter. Must have really, really gotten under that one. Really difficult task to do and keep it in play.
That 1-1 pitch low and in the dirt. Bin came in with 2 outs and the top of the first into another bases loaded jam. So he's had the bases loaded twice. Was able to get out of both of them with no runs allowed. Jimenez swings through that 2-1 pitch. fouling it into the mid of McNaney.
Yeah, and I've been really impressed by what I've seen from Ben so far, especially considering the fact that it's his first appearance on the year. Really attacked hitters with that fastball. It's been an impressive one. So we see Jimenez foul another one off down the left field line. Impressive play made out there in the Tiger bullpen. But Ben done a really good job in this one, mixing that fastball. Been a pretty firm one that he's used, especially on the hands of right-handed hitters in combination with a really big looping breaking ball.
Jimenez putting a couple good swings on these pitches, but fouling them away. We'll see if he can put one in play with no outs in the top of the third. Jimenez lined out in his last at-bat, but drove in a run. That was TLU's 29th sacrifice fly on the year. That 2-2 pitch inside. Count will go full.
McNaney's done a really great job behind the plate thus far today. First-year catcher. Definitely a difficult job to deal with a couple different pitchers.
And Jimenez drives that one once again to left field, but that will also go foul. So Jimenez really connecting with the ball, but just unable to keep it fair.
As I was saying, McNaney been impressive behind the plate as a true freshman in this one. One thing that I think he can look to improve upon as he moves forward is really working on framing that breaking ball on the inside part of the plate.
3-2 pitch once again fouled back.
Did a good job sticking a fastball on the inner half in the top of the first inning when Ben came in, but I've seen a couple of breaking balls that have been really close to the plate. McNaney just swaying a bit too much back there, but I think he has a chance to steal some strikes as he moves forward in his career as a Tiger.
And finally, after that long battle, Jimenez able to reach base. Looked like that actually hit him. Would have been ball four either way. So the leadoff runner on for the Bulldogs. Tyler Post now coming to the plate. A 10-pitch at bat by Jimenez, resulting in the walk. They're saying that was just ball four, didn't hit him. That first pitch to Post high.
Post stepping into the box now after not really getting a great chance to swing it in his first at-bat. Saw a couple of balls before eventually being put on. Load the bases.
That's a strike in there to Post. Post, another one of the Bulldog power hitters. He's tied with his teammate Colley for the lead in the conference. Him, Colley, and Staub of the Tigers all with 10 as Ben checks on the runner there at first. And the Bulldogs as a team have 39 home runs, the most in the SCAC, and the fourth most in Division III. So some real power in this lineup. Post sends that one foul. And the rain has started here in San Antonio. Mentioned it was a humid night. It's been looking like it's going to rain all day, but it doesn't quite get going. Of course, as the game gets started, the rain also gets going. That pitch high. Ball two. Ben checking again on the runner, and he gets him. This time the throw over there in time to get the runner out. So the second time we've seen Ben pick off a Bulldog runner, this time getting Jimenez on the first move. Goodrich able to get the throw over to Wisniewski, so that leadoff walk retired.
Yeah, and on that last replay, saw Goodrich, as soon as the runner started to take off, close the gap between himself and Ben on the mound. Make sure he receives that ball early, and at the same time creates a really great throwing lane to make sure that he can throw the Bulldog runner out on the base paths.
And Post swings through that one, so A good sequence there for Bin, gets the runner with the pickoff and strikes out post. So just like that, 2 outs and nobody on in the top of the third as the rain keeps coming down.
Yeah, and as it appears like the rain won't let up as the night continues on, hope that it doesn't get any worse than it is right now. Certainly hope Ben can continue to work as efficiently and effectively as he has to this point. Seen him miss high with a couple of pitches right here since the rain has started. Makes it a little bit more difficult to get that same grip that he had when it was dry earlier in the evening. Really need to focus here and ensure that he finishes on all of his pitches to stay down in the zone.
And a big swing there by Randy Huerta, who's the first Bulldog to see Bin for the second time. Huerta struck out looking with the bases loaded in the first, so we'll see if Huerta and the Bulldogs now make the adjustment on the first-year pitcher. That ball low. Count 3-1. Huerta with 3 home runs over the weekend against Schreiner. The Bulldogs scoring double-digit runs in each of those games against the Mountaineers. And Huerta lines out one straight to left fielder Brian Staub, so getting good contact, but to the wrong place for him. So Bin able to retire the side in order after picking off that runner who had gotten on with a walk. We'll be right back to the Tiger Network for the bottom of the third. Colt Harris steps to the plate to lead off the bottom of the third. Hampton's first pitch to him in the dirt. Jonathan Hampton in his third inning of work. The 1-0 pitch to Harris, low and away. So Harris getting ahead of this count here, 2-0. And Harris lines out one. Another good stop over there at the hot corner. And the out is retired. Huerta over there showing off the leather. Diving almost right on the foul line. Getting up and making that throw to retire Harris.
Yeah, and spectacular play by Huerta right there. Coming off of Hitter of the Week honors for the Bulldogs, Week 10 of the SCAC action. Really nice play defensively. Flashes of the leather right there. Impressive play to come up with that one in the first place, but perhaps the most impressive part of that one was strong throw over there to first, all the way across the diamond with no hop. made sure that he got Harris out there at first base.
Wisniewski pops that up the other way. And another nice play made out there. That's shortstop Joe Jimenez with the basket catch. We'll look at the replay here.
Wisniewski does have a tendency to drop the baseball into some gaps sometimes. Jimenez makes sure that doesn't happen right there. Really impressive play by the Bulldog shortstop. Looked like Molly might have had a play on that one coming in from left field, but Jimenez wanted to get in on the fun after his counterpart on the left side of the infield made a pretty spectacular Webb Gym caliber play.
First pitch to Staub, low and away, 4-1. Prior to that ball, just 5 pitches and 2 outs thanks to 2 nice plays on the left side of the infield by Huerta and Jimenez. Staub goes down and gets that one, sends it the other way, but it is playable in right for Tyler Colley, so a 1-2-3 inning for Hampton. That's a quick bottom of the third. We'll head to the top of the fourth at the Tiger Network. Trinity and TLU tied at 1. Scales once again swinging at the first pitch. Flied out to right field in his first at-bat. This time leading off the 4th inning. The first baseman from Pflugerville, Texas. Swings at that one and fouls it back, falling behind 0-2. The rain looks to have stopped for the moment. Hopefully it will stay away as we're in the top of the 4th. Just got to get through 9 innings and then it can rain all it want. As Bin gets another strikeout, Scales unable to check his swing. Perfect angle right here. And Scales clearly went around, so a good call there.
You can see from that last shot that McNaney was asking for that pitch up. Got exactly what he wanted right there. Got Scales to go around. It's an approach that I feel like Ben could definitely look to utilize a bit more as he continues on in this one. He's done a really good job dropping that curveball in there. Has used the fastball really well at the bottom of the zones, but every once in a while changing the eye level for the hitter. Looks like it's going to continue to result in results like he just got.
Colin Docker, who's at the plate, the only man to get a hit off of Bin. Waits back on the breaking ball, fouls it to the Tigers dugout. Bin has been really impressive in his 2 2/3 so far, striking out 5 of the 8 that he's retired. Has an 0-2 count on Docker. That one just misses outside. Docker with no batting gloves, also choking up with 2 strikes, something we saw from the leadoff hitter Molly. So we'll see if the Bulldogs can start making some more contact. And he does put this one into play. Meredith diving and unable to make that catch. Docker heads into second base with a double. Meredith trying to pull off another one of his diving catches, but just unable to get there. Rafe Chomet there to back him up, though, and keep Docker to a double.
Yeah, and it looked like Ben tried to throw a backdoor breaking ball right there, perhaps a slider. Docker did a good job to go out and send that one the other way. Past weekend, we saw Meredith make some spectacular defensive plays. Veteran for the Tiger has shown off the leather more than enough this year, but definitely not helped out by the weather tonight. Dense air kept that one up in the sky. If anything, the flag's blowing in just a bit and ultimately wasn't able to get all the way there to bring that one in.
Yeah, but a nice approach by Docker, sending it the other way, and now the only Bulldog with 2 hits off of Bin, the only 2. He stands at second base with the top of the order up for the Bulldogs. This is Caleb Molly, who's 0 for 2 on the day.
As you noted in that last at-bat, Molly choking up on his bat already early on right here. Probably in an attempt to combat that pitch right there. Ben's breaking ball, that curveball specifically, has been working really well for him, especially on the inside part of the plate. Molly looking to negate that by choking up on the bat, making sure that anytime he gets his hand through, he's going to get the barrel to the baseball right here.
And Ben, last time facing Molly, got that breaking ball to freeze Molly looking. We'll see what he goes to here. Molly fouling that one back.
Yeah, and a nice approach for Ben right here would be to go ahead and switch over to the fastball, maybe operate on the outside part of the plate. Even if Molly can find a way to put the bat on the baseball, more than likely going to be off the end and going to be induced soft contact.
Molly able to foul that one away, a good pitch, but getting contact on it. So we'll do the 1-2 once again. Molly calls time.
A little bit of a delay right there as the signs were relayed in to McNaney behind the plate. Feel that Molly, in a situation like this, down 1-2 in the count, likely expecting that breaking ball that he saw on the inside part of the plate again.
This time he waits back on the breaking ball and sends it towards the Tiger dugout. MJ Metz making the catch right against the rail. So Ben able to retire Molly. You see he was able to wait back on it, but sent it foul, and it stayed in play for Metz. And you just mentioned McNaney there, who goes out to visit Ben on the mound. Not only is this Ben's first appearance for the Tigers and in his career at the collegiate level, this is just McNaney's 4th appearance behind the plate, so a really young battery that so far has kept the Bulldogs' offense, the potent offense, who has scored the 2nd most runs in Division III, to just 1.
Yeah, and coming in to replace Tyler Pettit, veteran Tiger catcher, transfer from Incarnate Word, is certainly not an easy role to fill for the freshman, but I felt that he's done a really great job tonight. Mentioned earlier that he could stand to work on framing that breaking ball, but that's getting really nitpicky, so obviously a very impressive performance from the freshman.
Motzinger able to connect with this one, but this time Meredith is there for the out. So once again, a stranded runner for the Bulldogs. We remain tied at 1 as the Tigers come to bat in the bottom of the 4th. Welcome back to San Antonio. Mason Meredith at the plate, swings at the first pitch and sends it the other way, but an easy out there at second for Austin Colon. So a quick out to start the inning for Hampton.
Hampton been impressive on the mound so far for the Bulldogs. Came into this one having only thrown 2 innings on the year, but done a really good job keeping the Tiger bats quiet. Starts Holloway off with a strike right there. The Tigers have done a good job putting the ball in play. Just seems like a matter of time before they start to put the barrel on it and string together some hits.
Yeah, the Tigers had 2 singles in the first inning, 1 in the second, but Hampton has retired 5 in a row now. A 1-1 count to Holloway now. And it was pointed out to me that after I mentioned expecting a lot of runs in this one between 2 top 10 offenses, that it is currently 1-1 in the bottom of the 4th. Of course, if you tuned in on the Tiger Network this past weekend with the series against Centenary as Holloway grounds it to short, that'll be the second out of the inning. We're coming off a 14-12 game that Trinity lost this past Sunday to Centenary. Centenary had 21 hits. Trinity had 16. Ball was flying everywhere, and so was definitely expecting something similar here, not having it so far, but 2 explosive offenses that have been kept at bay by 2 good pitching performances. Hampton for the Bulldogs and Bin for the Tigers. Goodrich swings through that first pitch.
Yeah, and for Hampton so far tonight, it seems that he's figured out this strike zone a little bit, understands that he's getting that call down and away from these right-handed Tiger hitters, really taking advantage of that because righties in this batting order for the Tigers, most of them are pretty pull-happy, much harder task to accomplish when that pitch is coming in as far away as Hampton has delivered it tonight.
0-2 to Goodrich in the dirt. And while we got to call the Tigers game here with lots of runs, the Bulldogs were sweeping Schreiner and outscoring them 43-14 in a 3-game sweep. Played just 7 innings in both games of the doubleheader since they were up by more than 10. And they scored double-digit runs in each of those 3 games. So coming off a hot weekend, but not showing up so far today. But Goodrich, trying to get the offense going for the Tigers, lines that 2-strike delivery into left field for a base hit.
Yeah, a really nice piece of hitting right here by Goodrich. Didn't see a whole lot of hittable pitches in that at-bat. Takes it upon himself to go out, go down a little bit and get this one. Puts the barrel on the baseball for the Tigers right there.
MJ Metz at the plate, walked in his first plate appearance, also with 2 outs, that ball away. So we'll see if the Tigers can get a little 2-out rally going. They were on the verge of getting something going in the second. Metz walked, and then McNaney singled with 2 outs, but then Hampton was able to retire Rafe Chomet to keep the game tied, and that's where we are now. Pitch low again, so Metz getting ahead 2-0.
Yeah, a really nice pitch right there from Hampton. Docker behind the plate. Doesn't frame that one. Lets that glove get pulled down by the pitch a little bit.
Metz swings at that one and pops it up. Colon drops it in the outfield. Goodrich rounding third. He's going to stay there. But that pop-up in between first and second, Colon charging over from the second base bag. You see him there. And Tyler Post with the tough angle, and neither one of them able to come up with it. Off the glove of Colon there.
Yeah, and a really tough play right there. Not great communication in the infield for the Bulldogs. Definitely not an easy play for either of those 2 players to make. Typically, you'd want your right fielder charging in to try and make a play on that ball, but that one stayed in the dirt, and right there you just need someone to take charge, call off the other player, whether that be Colon or Post at the end.
And a tough break for the pitcher, Hampton, who now exits the game in the 4th inning with 2 outs, runners at the corners. We'll take a quick break and be right back on the Tiger Network. Matthew Hickey, the new pitcher on the mound for the Bulldogs. He'll face catcher Matt McNaney with runners on the corners and 2 outs in the bottom of a tied 4th inning game. First pitch to McNaney outside for ball one.
McNaney, in his first at-bat on the day, sent one to left field. First pitch he saw on the day. Wouldn't have been surprised to see a similar approach right there, but that pitch from Hickey stayed away.
McNaney chops that one. That goes just foul. Hickey, one of the more reliable arms for the Bulldogs, has thrown the third most innings for TLU. 28 and a third, has a 3.49 ERA and a 3-0 record. So put into a spot here. A tied ball game, McNaney trying to give the Tigers their first lead of the evening. That pitch outside for ball two.
McNaney doing a really great job right here. As a freshman, don't want to be too ambitious at the plate. He's done a nice job laying off of pitches that are away, forcing Hickey to throw him a fastball right here, especially as this count moves to 3-1. Potential to load the bases and turn the lineup over. Really important that Hickey attacks the zone before he has to see Chalmette in the next at-bat.
And that 3-1 pitch outside for ball four. So the number 9 hitter, McNaney, draws the walk. And like you mentioned, the lineup does turn over now to the leadoff hitter, Rafe Chalmette. This is now a lefty-on-lefty matchup for Hickey, but cannot imagine he wanted to walk McNaney there to face the .408 hitting Chalmette.
Yeah, especially considering what we've seen out of Chalmette this year. Has been more than willing to find his way on base. Any way it's given to him. Will fight to earn a walk, will put the ball in play and beat it out by hustling down the line. So really precarious spot right here for Hickey, and you'd expect the veteran in Chalmette to be able to deliver for the Tigers.
Chalmette swings at that one and sends it to left center field. Retired for the third out of the inning. So the bases left loaded by Chalmette and the Tigers. You see Hickey able to retire the Tigers right fielder right there. And we head now to the top of the fifth inning. Still a tied ball game, 1-1. A good one between rivals TLU and Trinity. We'll be right back. Alex Bin still on the mound. Top of the fifth inning here. Austin Colon getting his second look at Bin, who came in to the first inning and has remained ever since. Has struck out 5, walked 2, and allowed 2 hits. And that one on the outside corner for a strike.
Yeah, and a good job by Bin to even up the count right there. That was, however, his 70th pitch on the night. So imagine that the leash is short for him here in the top of the 5th inning. We are late in this season, and I'm sure his arm is conditioned for this type of outing, but on the flip side, this is the first time we are seeing the freshman on the year. So it'll be interesting to keep tabs on that as the inning continues.
Doesn't look tired quite yet as he gets another strikeout, this time Cologne looking. That ball on the outside corner, that's 6 strikeouts for the first-year pitcher. After that strikeout, Tyler Colley to the plate. He swings through the first one. Bin was able to strike out Colley with the bases loaded in the second inning, so the second bases loaded jam that Bin faced in this one. So not only has he pitched well in his first ever appearance for the Tigers, but has been placed into some stressful situations that he's been able to navigate through, and against a TLU offense that is known for putting up a lot of runs. That ball outside. Colley swings through that one, so strike 2, an even 2-2 count. At this point, last week when the Tigers went to Seguin for a non-conference matchup with the Bulldogs, the Tigers were up 11-9 in the 5th inning, after the 5th inning. But here today, just a 1-1 game, and that breaking ball awfully close to the zone. The catcher, McNaney, looked to be getting ready to throw it around the horn for the strikeout. But ball 3 instead, a full count.
Yeah, and a great job by McNaney right there behind the plate. Stuck that breaking ball, made sure he presented it to the home plate umpire. Really close, but great response by Bin right there. Absolutely blows a fastball by the veteran in Colley right here. Great pitch on the inside part of the plate. Colley can't get his hands through and put the barrel on that one. And with that, Bin now has recorded 7 strikeouts on the evening in his very first appearance of the year. And Brian, well, we don't have access to the most complex stats. You can look at some of the stats that we have on our pitchers so far this year. Not many totaling a huge number of strikeouts, and could argue that that's the highest strikeout total in any singular outing by a Tiger pitcher this year. So really impressive from Bin so far today.
Yeah, definitely one of the most dominant performances we've seen from a Tiger pitcher this year. The Tigers, of course, ranked number 1 in Division III, newly atop the rankings today, according to D3Baseball.com, but mostly due to their explosive offense. The pitching, something we've seen coming together later in the year now. Bin with another 1-2-3 inning, so the first-year pitcher making his first collegiate appearance, putting on quite the performance. He retires the Bulldogs in order. We're halfway home in San Antonio. Trinity trying to break a 1-1 tie when we come back. After Hickey was able to get out of a 4th inning jam, we have another new pitcher on the mound for Texas Lutheran, Zach Perry, the senior from Round Rock, Texas. Now in the game, he's facing Colt Harris, who looks at that first pitch for a ball. And Harris lines that one into left field for a base hit.
Yeah, just a two-seamer right there from Perry that ran back over the heart of the plate. Harris knew exactly what to do with that one.
And it is a third pitcher, so not getting a third at-bat off of the same person, but it is the third time through the order for the Tigers in general, so we'll see if they are feeling a little bit more comfortable at the plate and if they can get some runs across in the bottom of the 5th. Jack Wisniewski, the 3-hole hitter, looks at the first pitch on the corner for a strike. Wisniewski does have a base hit today, 5 overall for the Tigers, compared to just 3 for the Bulldogs. Only 1 run on the board for each side, but TLU has left 7 on base. Tigers have left 6, so plenty of opportunities, just not getting that big hit quite yet. Another close pitch on the corner goes the way of Perry. Gets ahead of Wisniewski 0-2.
Yeah, and one of the problems that we've seen for both sides tonight has been the inability to get the leadoff runner on to start an inning. So really important that Harris was able to do so here, especially with a guy like Wisniewski hitting behind him. Veteran hitter in this Tiger lineup does a really good job changing his approach as at-bats develop. Fell behind early, 0-2 in this one, but grew patient, took that ball in the dirt, going to continue to fight right here.
Perry checking on the runner there. Harris hasn't played a ton and doesn't have a stolen base on the year. But we saw plenty of running in the Centenary Series, so wouldn't be surprised to see the runner going. Wisniewski takes it the other way again, this time right to the shortstop, who turns it and not in time for the double play. So Wisniewski able to hustle it to avoid the double play. That was Jimenez there at short and Colon with the nice turn, but just not in time to get the hustling Wisniewski.
Yeah, and a little bit of an odd play right there. Jimenez a little bit lackadaisical, getting that one over to the bag at second base. Because of that, Colon not able to run through the bag. His momentum stops right there, making it a much more difficult throw on to first base. So the Tigers will keep a runner on here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
And as that ball gets in the dirt, Wisniewski takes advantage and gets the extra base there at second. Was just about to say Wisniewski does have 5 stolen bases on the year. And he saw that first pitch in the dirt, now in scoring position for the cleanup hitter, Brian Staub.
Yeah, and that's one thing to note about this Tiger lineup. No one with blazing speed outside of the top of the order and Shamet, I would say, but everyone else with kind of sneaky speed and sneaky knowledge on the base paths. Wisniewski does a really good job right there, moving on the first pitch, catching the Bulldogs off guard and putting himself in scoring position for Schaub.
Schaub tips that one foul. Tigers are middle of the pack in the conference when it comes to stolen bases. Have 56 on the year, tied for 4th with Dallas. TLU actually does lead the conference with 77 stolen bases. But it has felt like in the last few games the Tigers have been running more than before. And that breaking ball in there for a perfect strike on the inside corner froze Schaub, and that's the second out of the inning for Perry.
Yeah, and a great pitch right here by Perry. Did a good job in that at-bat, getting ahead early by utilizing the fastball in some different positions in the strike zone. Schaub, such a great fastball hitter, one of the big reasons that we've seen him hit as many home runs on the year as we've seen. Perry makes sure to negate that by getting ahead and throwing that breaking ball at the end of the at-bat.
First pitch to Meredith is outside, and Perry was able to get that strikeout and got it in a good location. Looked like the catcher was actually setting up on the opposite end of the plate. Docker wanting it outside, but nonetheless, Perry getting the strikeout inside against Staub. Now up to Meredith to come up with the hit with 2 outs, runner on second.
Yeah, and a much different approach right here for Meredith, standing in with 2 outs. Saw him lead off an inning, a couple of innings ago, swinging at the first pitch and popping it up. Really great job by the Tiger veteran center fielder right here, taking the first 3 pitches of this at-bat, not trying to force the issue right here, looking to hand the baton off to Holloway, hitting behind him in the 6th hole.
Meredith takes the 3-0 pitch for a strike. Meredith, someone who so often comes through with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. A key moment on Saturday against Centenary. After the Tigers fell behind 6-0, Meredith drove in 2 with 2 outs to get the Tigers back in the game. This time takes ball 4 outside. So a patient at-bat by the Tigers center fielder. That'll bring up Christian Holloway, who will try to get the big 2-out hit for Trinity.
Yeah, and in his last at-bat, we saw Holloway send one on the ground over to shortstop, but a pretty good piece of hitting. Just got on top of the baseball. Look to change his approach right here with 2 outs an inning. Perhaps try and send something the other way as he shortens up his swing.
Swings through that 1-0 pitch. Perry in his first inning of work trying to get through it without allowing a run. He came in for Matthew Hickey, who just got the 1 out in the 4th. That pitch outside. Holloway, someone we saw a lot at the beginning of the season. Haven't seen too much of him lately. Sees that one on the corner for a strike, evening up the count at 2-2. Holloway had 8 hits in 3 games against Southwestern all the way back in February. Now trying to come up with a big one here. And he'll draw a full count. 2 runners on. 3-2 count. They'll be off and running. A base hit gives the Tigers the lead. Holloway fouls that one. He'll get another chance.
We saw Perry strike out Staub on that big looping breaking ball. Bit surprising that we haven't seen it at all in this at-bat. Struck out a veteran using it, but haven't gone to it here against the freshman, and now in a full count. Doesn't seem like that's the type of pitch you'd want to use right here.
We will see what Perry is comfortable with. This is Perry's 11th appearance, has a 5.54 ERA. And he's able to get Holloway swinging there. So 2 more runners stranded by the Tigers. We'll head to the top of the 6th inning here in San Antonio. TLU and Trinity still tied at 1. you got a great look at the Division III baseball rankings. The Trinity Tigers back at number 1 after some time at number 2, but a Washington University in St. Louis series loss at the same time that the Tigers pulled off a series win against a top 20 team, allowed the Tigers to climb back into number 1. Here in the 6th inning, Alex Bin still on the mound. He's facing Tyler Post, who saw the first pitch for a strike, now looks at that one in the dirt. Alex Bin has been impressive so far. 4 1/3, 7 strikeouts, no runs allowed. Just 2 hits against the first-year pitcher, who's on pitch 85 here. And he gets Post to ground it to second. Harris comes in, gets the first out of the inning.
And a good job right there by Bin, continuing to utilize that big looping breaking ball, especially towards these lefties in the Bulldog lineup. Had Post well out in front of that one. First baseman for the Bulldogs just rolled over on it, sent it out to Harris at second.
In steps Randy Huerta to the plate, who is 0 for 2 but has had 2 amazing plays defensively at his third base position. One diving on the line and getting the runner, and another nice snag on a line drive. And he sends that one deep in the air to left. Brian Schaub looking at it go out of here. Randy Huerta breaks the tie here for the Bulldogs. They take a 2-1 lead in the top of the 6th, and that was a no-doubter off the bat.
Jan Huerta, as we mentioned earlier in the game, coming off an impressive week, earned SCAC Hitter of the Week honors with the Bulldogs. Couldn't tell from that replay right there, out of the hand, if that was a fastball or perhaps a slider from Bin right there. Either way, just caught too much of the plate. For the first time today, we see a Bulldog hitter that did a really good job making sure that he got the barrel out in front of a pitch that was going to end up on the inside of the plate.
We'll see how Bin is able to respond. Gets a first pitch strike to Simon Scales. And Huerta, used to the dramatic moments, at least against the Tigers. Last week in Seguin, hit the game-tying home run. 11-11 as Scales grounds it to third. Metz with the out at first, but Huerta was able to tie the game in Seguin before the Tigers then took the lead. Bulldogs tied it once again, and Tigers ultimately came up with the 13-12 victory, but now Huerta providing the 2-1 lead in the second inning, top of the 6th inning, second run of the game for the Bulldogs. And now Colin Docker to the plate, someone who has 2 hits off of Bin. The number 9 hitter has been seeing the ball well off of this pitcher and lines that first one towards the Tigers bullpen. Someone able to make a nice play on it there.
For Huerta in that last at-bat, that's his 5th home run in his last 5 games. So great effort by the Bulldog third baseman trying to catch a couple of his teammates, as well as Brian Schaub for the Tigers.
And Colin Docker goes down to get that one. Now 3 for 3 on the day. Prior to the home run from Huerta, was the only Bulldog with a hit off of Bin, and he has 3 of them now. Just taking the ball where it came from and turning the lineup over now for Caleb Molly. Molly has had a difficult time against Bin so far.
Yeah, it was a nice piece of hitting by Docker in that last at-bat. Had some success earlier on in the game, came into it 2 for 2, leaves it 3 for 3 with that one. Bit more aggressive, went out, reached down, just poked that one into right field, and as you said, turns the lineup over, but Molly definitely has struggled at the plate against Bin in this one.
And he grounds that one right back to him. Bin able to toss it up to Goodrich for the 3rd out of the inning, but the Bulldogs take the lead. A solo home run by Randy Huerta. They take the lead for the first time since the first inning. Tigers look to respond in the bottom of the 6th. We'll take a quick break and be right back. First pitch of this 6th inning to Michael Goodrich. A ball from Zach Perry, who now has a lead to work with after the solo home run from Randy Huerta. Goodrich popping that one to the right side. Colon, the first baseman, instead takes over. Post able to come up with it, and we've seen a pop-up over there dropped already in this game, so not an easy out by Post.
Yeah, and interesting to see the struggles defensively with balls hit in the air tonight. Typically when sun goes down this time of the day, defenders haven't struggled a whole lot here in San Antonio picking up the baseball, but see the wind blowing the trees around a little bit out in left field, so I wonder if that's taking a little bit of an impact in this one here today.
Metz is able to wait back on that off-speed pitch and line it into left field for a base hit. So the third baseman trying to get something going for the Tigers.
A really good job by Metz right there on that off-speed pitch. As you said, Brian, waited back on that one, just hung up a little bit too long for Perry, and Metz does exactly what he's supposed to do in that scenario, depositing that one into left field.
McNaney, the catcher himself, sees that one in the dirt, as Docker able to stop that one and keep Metz at first for now. McNaney with a hit in his first at-bat. Lines that one foul the other way.
McNaney walked in his second at-bat as well tonight, so been on base both times. Really valuable to have out of your 9-hole hitter. Has done a great job turning the lineup over for Shamet in this one.
And he looks at that pitch outside, but called a strike on the corner. And you might be able to hear the wind picking up a little bit. Did start raining a while ago. We've been able to stay away from that as that one's in the dirt. Runner is going. Metz with some good base running, able to take advantage of a ball that didn't go that far away from Docker. But now McNaney gets an opportunity with the runner in scoring position. He has a 2-1 count off of Perry. And he swings at that one well up above the zone. And that'll actually be strike 3 on McNaney. So Perry able to retire the number 9 hitter. And now Rafe Chomet once again at the plate with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Chomet flied out to left field. His last time up, bases were loaded. And that pitch on the corner for a strike.
In that last at-bat by McNaney, appears that Metz stole third on the strikeout. So Sean Met only needing to perhaps beat out an infield single here to knot this game at 2. Also to move into sole possession of 5th place on the all-time hit list for the Tigers.
The 1-2 in the dirt there for Rafe. If you were not with us in the first inning, Rafe was able to tie Jeremy Wolf for 5th place all-time. 249 hits, looking for 250 here. And he sends it to the second baseman, Colon, who is able to record the out at first. So a well-hit ball, but Chomet unable to get it into the outfield. They strand another runner as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Texas Lutheran holding a 2-1 lead over the top-ranked Trinity Tigers. We'll be right back. Welcome back to San Antonio. Texas Lutheran Bulldogs up on the Trinity Tigers 2-1. Cullen Motzinger sees the first pitch high for a ball. Alex Bin still on the mound, has thrown 93 pitches in 5 1/3 so far. That one too high for a ball, so a 2-0 count to Motzinger, who is 1 for 2 on the day, has drawn a walk and scored. Motzinger swinging at that 2-0 and fouling it away. You surprised to see Ben still in the game, Luke?
Yeah, a little bit, Brian, but I also understand it at this point. Freshman making his first appearance of the year. You know that he's a fresh arm. Not certain how much more we'll see him going forward, but he's certainly been very impressive. And the fact that this is a midweek game, going to let him go as far as he can in this one, I'm sure.
Tries to get that breaking ball on the corner, but just misses. So the count 3-2 for Motzinger. The heart of the Bulldogs order up 2-3-4. So we'll see if Bin is able to get around that. Motzinger fouls that one. The Bulldogs 13-2 in conference play, just ahead of Trinity at 12-2. This is a non-conference matchup, though, as it's in the middle of the week and just the one game. A scheduled series earlier in the year up in Seguin got canceled, and so the teams have just played these one-off non-conference games over these past 2 weeks. Tigers head to Southwestern this weekend. Bulldogs head to Louisiana to face Centenary in the last GAC series of the year. Motzinger fouls back another pitch. In those conference series, each of these two teams needing just one victory each to clinch one of the top 2 seeds in the SCAC tournament and be the home team. Only if both of them get swept can they fall out of those top 2 spots, with Centenary and Southwestern currently battling for 3rd and 4th place. Hard to believe that the conference schedule is coming to a close. This is the final home game of the year for the Tigers, final home game for a lot of these super seniors. Motzinger sends the 3-2 pitch towards right. Rafe charging in and is able to make that catch. A nice play by Chomet, rushing in from deep right field.
Yeah, we saw that play, ball drop in for the Bulldogs, or against the Bulldogs earlier on in the day. This one gets a little bit further out into the outfield, and Chomet knows exactly what he needs to do right there. Does a great job early on recognizing that one's going to be short, going full speed to come in for it. Make sure to call off the freshman and Harris playing at second base, and lays out to ensure that the Tigers get their first out of the inning here.
And after that out, the day is done for Alex Bin, but the entire Tigers dugout coming out to greet him and congratulate him on an amazing first performance in his collegiate career. We'll take a quick break and return in the top of the 7th. Why not follow up one collegiate debut with another? Cam Sheets on the mound now for the Tigers. This looks to be his first appearance with the Tigers, and he comes in to face Austin Colon. First pitch, a strike to the second baseman. Sheets is replacing Alex Bin, who threw 5 2/3 innings, struck out 7, allowing just 1 run on 4 hits. That ball outside now, 1-1 count. But a really impressive performance by Bin, holding the Bulldogs offense down to just 1 run. They had one earlier before Bin had come in. And Cologne skies it out to left field. Brian Schaub there for the out. So Sheets able to retire his first batter.
Yeah, and for Sheets, a really tough act to follow. Been incredibly impressive, but he helps the redshirt sophomore out a little bit, making sure that the first out of the inning was recorded. Makes the situation a bit easier on Sheets, but another lefty coming into the game, attacking the zone, getting ahead early on.
Cawley swinging at the first pitch there. Someone who is quite happy to see Alex Bin out of the game. Struck out twice. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Did draw 1 walk. Cawley came into the game tied for first in home runs in the conference with 10. Takes another big swing at that one. Fouls it off. Now down 0-2. Cawley now ready for that 0-2. Sheets trying to get it up in the zone. Does, but Cawley laying off of that one. And Cawley tries to check his swing. Looks like he did. So a nice pitch. Get the best angle at it right here. And very close call. Could have gone either way. But we are very fortunate to get that slow motion replay with that angle. First base umpire doesn't have that. Cawley fouls that one back. And the wind really picking up now. Hopefully not bringing any rain with it.
Yeah, certainly makes the job for Sheets a little bit more difficult right here, but another lefty on the mound for the Tigers. Throwing a little bit differently, much firmer with all of his pitches so far. Thrown a lot more fastballs than we saw from Bin. Haven't seen any big looping breaking balls from the redshirt sophomore so far. Been tighter with everything that he's thrown so far.
And another foul ball. Cawley, despite striking out, has had some tough at-bats, had 7 pitches seen, and then 6 in the 2 strikeouts, has already fouled off a few here. This will be the 8th pitch of this at-bat off of Sheets. So Cawley fighting to stay alive, and will do so once again. And for Sheets, who's pitching for the very first time, must be frustrating to make some good pitches and just seeing them keep being fouled off.
Yeah, I'd certainly agree with you on that, Brian, but seems like a really good time for the Tiger pitcher to go to something else.
And he gets Cawley swinging, so Cawley strikes out for the 3rd time. Sheets with his first strikeout.
Yeah, it looked like he did go to something else right there, perhaps a slider, some sort of breaking ball down in the zone. Kept Cawley off balance for his 3rd strikeout of the day.
After that strikeout, it is time to stretch in San Antonio. Texas Lutheran with a 2-1 lead over the Tigers. We'll be right back after this quick break. Welcome back to the bottom of the 7th inning. Hope you took some time to stretch. Tigers looking to get on the board, tie this ball game up. They trailed 2-1 to their rival from Seguin. Colt Harris trying to get something going and bring the heart of the order up. He's the number 2 hitter. Does have a base hit already today. Now has a 2-1 count. And swings at that one out of the zone inside. Perry ready to go there on the rubber. Harris trying to draw a little bit of time. And able to just foul that away the other way. You can see Perry feeling good about how he's doing. Has thrown 2 innings of scoreless work. And that big breaking ball gets Harris swinging on a 3rd strike. So a good start to the inning for Perry.
Yeah, and as you were saying, Brian, Perry certainly will be pleased with his effort in this one. So will the Bulldog coaching staff, I'm sure, but that holds true for both sides. We've seen a lot of really good performances in this one from some pitchers that we haven't seen very much for either side this year. Will be especially important as we come down the stretch here nearing the SCAC postseason tournament.
First pitch to Wisniewski is a strike. This will be the 2nd time through the order for Perry, as Harris singled the last time he faced him before striking out now, and Wisniewski reached on a fielder's choice, now seeing Perry for the 2nd time. Wisniewski swings over that one. So a 1-2 count to the shortstop. Wisniewski crushed one of 6 Tiger home runs over the weekend to deep right center field. Looks at that good pitch low, able to take and stay alive, evening up the count at 2-2. And he sends that one up the middle and past Cologne into center field for a base hit. So Wisniewski, the hit machine, with 2 strikes, able to get on base and bring Brian Staub to the plate.
I see that one again. Caught just too much of the plate for that pitch. I was going to mention that Perry's done a really good job changing his approach based on whether he has a right-handed hitter or left-handed hitter on the plate. Righty for the Bulldogs has thrown a lot of change-ups that have faded away from the left-handed hitters, but Wisniewski, knowing that fact, did a really good job waiting back, seeing where that one was going to end up. Finished on the outside part of the plate, but he did a great job sending it right back up the middle.
And now as Wisniewski's on first, someone who can give the Tigers the lead with just 1 swing of the bat, Brian Staub, looks at that one high. So he'll get ahead 2-0. We may not have Amazon StatCast services, but it feels like Wisniewski always gets the hits over there up the middle into center field, and with 2 strikes especially. Staub laying off that one, so a 3-0 count to the cleanup hitter.
And this isn't something that we've seen Staub do so far in this one. His last at-bat took a first pitch ball, but fell behind after fouling a couple pitches off and ultimately striking out. Doing a much better job, much more on brand for him here. Working to get ahead in the count and forces Perry to throw fastballs right here. A really dangerous position for the Bulldog pitcher.
Perry checking on the runner, Wisniewski over there. Wisniewski with 5 stolen bases on the year. So Perry trying to keep an eye on him while also dealing with the home run leader in the SCAC. Takes a big swing and fouls it back. Staub struck out looking. in his last at-bat against Perry. This time had a 3-0 count that now Perry has brought full. We'll see if the runner's going on 3-2. Staub able to foul that one. Ends up on one knee. You can tell the power he's putting into his swings, trying to send it a long, long way. Give the Tigers a lead here. We'll see if he can pull off a go-ahead home run in the bottom of the 7th. Instead, he'll take ball 4, put another man on base, and put Wisniewski on second base scoring position for the Tigers. Mason Meredith will now step to the plate. And it would not be a Tiger broadcast without a Brian Staub walk. Walk number 37 on the year. Number 1 in Division III. First pitch to Meredith outside.
Yeah, and you saw Meredith start to go on that one. Tiger hitter that we've seen be pretty aggressive earlier on in counts. Good job to take that pitch, go up 1-0. Sees another ball well outside from Perry and way ahead in the count right here. Great spot to hit for the Tiger veteran. Not only considering the count, but also the situation in the game. As the outs begin to dwindle, scoring opportunities starting to dwindle as well for the Tigers right here. Meredith, certainly the Tiger that you would prefer at the plate, has had the tendency to come through in really big situations. Opportunity to tie the game up right here.
Yeah, and with things starting to get away from him a little bit, you see a pitching change in the middle of an at-bat. Zach Perry getting behind 2-0 on Meredith after walking Staub, and the Bulldogs don't want to let that lead slip away, so making that change whenever necessary. And we'll take a quick break with them. Be right back as the Tigers try to tie this ball game up. A new pitcher on the mound for the Bulldogs. Chase Cutler in a tough spot. Mason Meredith, a 2-0 count, 2 runners on, and the first pitch to the center fielder outside. So not something you typically see, a pitching change in the middle of an at-bat. Zach Perry got behind Meredith 2-0. And now Cutler on to try to finish the at-bat. Meredith trying to tie this ball game up. Takes a 3-0 pitch at the top of the zone for a strike.
Meredith looked like he was ready to discard the bat right there, but I'm sure he'll be happy to stand in again with the opportunity to put a ball in play and hopefully tie the game up right here for the Tigers.
Runners are going. Meredith fouls that one back. Wisniewski taking a big lead there. Couldn't tell if he actually ended up going or not, but motioned like he was. And very early on, trying to distract Cutler. Now a 3-2 count to Meredith. And able to wait back on it and just foul it off to stay alive. Wisniewski at second base. He singled to get this inning going. Staub then drawing the walk.
But again, another Bulldog pitcher entering the game, attempting to hammer the part of the zone down and away. It just feels like Meredith's going to need to go the other way with something to have success in this at-bat.
3-2 to Meredith. Another breaking ball, and he fouls it straight back once again.
Yeah, and a really good job by Meredith to fight that pitch off. Not sure that that's exactly where Cutler wanted that one to end up. Left one up in the zone, and Meredith, very dangerous hitter at the plate, might feel like Cutler just got away with one.
And Meredith grounds it up the middle. Jimenez to Colon on to first for the double play. Able to beat Meredith there, who was hustling down the line. A slowly bounced ball, but Colon able to turn it there. And that's the third out of the inning. So the Tigers once again threatened, but unable to put together that big hit. TLU stays on top 2-1. We head to the top of the 8th inning. Cam Sheets back on the mound for the Tigers. Bulldogs still ahead 2-1. Joe Jimenez at the plate. He started a 6-4-3 double play in the bottom half of the 7th, as Meredith was at the plate for the Tigers looking to tie the game. Instead grounded into that inning-ending double play. Jimenez at the plate is 0 for 1. Did drive in a run with a sacrifice fly and got a walk. And that sacrifice fly coming way back in the first inning to get the scoring started. TLU took that 1-0 lead. Tigers responded in the first. And then TLU took the lead as that one is skied up to center field. Meredith going back at the track and makes the catch. You can see the flags right there in your screen blowing out that way. So Meredith going all the way back to the track to make that catch. Jimenez retired.
Yeah, I talked about it a little bit in the last half inning. Sheets was aided a little bit by his counterpart, Ben, who was able to get the first out of the inning for him. Always a bit of a daunting task to get on the mound with no out so far, but Sheets does a good job to come back in that at bat after falling behind 2-1 and get Bulldog hitter to pop up to start the inning.
Tyler Post is now at the plate. He is 0 for 2 on the day, looks at that pitch for a strike. So he's down 0-2. Post sends this the other way. Staub trying to get there, but the ball will fall foul. So Post putting the ball in play, just nearly missing what would have been likely a double.
We could see before that last pitch that McNaney set up pretty far outside, asking Sheets for the delivery right there. Sheets did a good job, posted all he could to fight that pitch off.
And that 0-2 breaking ball nearly hitting Post. Instead, just ball one. And Post swings at that one in the dirt. McNaney out with the throw. And that's another strikeout for Sheets.
Yeah, and a really great sequence of pitches right there. Sheets went hard away, got Post to foul one off, came back in soft. Post almost hit by the pitch, but certainly looked like it had him frozen at the plate, and that last one started it in, got great movement on the pitch all the way across the plate, and Post, left-handed hitter in the batter's box, not much of a chance.
And a swing and a miss there on the first pitch by the man responsible for the 2-1 lead. Randy Huerta with the solo home run back in the 6th inning to break a 1-1 tie. He crushed it to give the Bulldogs the lead, now down 0-2.
Yeah, knowing that Huerta had such great success in his last at-bat, Sheets really going to operate around the zone right here. Does a good job, forces Huerta to go down and get one right there.
And an acrobatic catch there by Vonderhaar. You can hear the wind. You saw it on that fly ball to the warning track. So a tough play, but Vonderhaar, who came in to play defense there at first, able to make the catch there around the first base coach. So the third out of the inning there for the Tigers. They come up to bat in the bottom of the 8th, still down a run, trying to tie things up, and we'll be right back as they try to do so. Brendan Beard now on the mound, trying to hold on to the lead for the Bulldogs. He faces Christian Holloway to start the bottom of the 8th. First pitch high for a ball. Beard now the 5th pitcher for TLU. Hampton, Hickey, Perry, and Cutler most recently. And Holloway lines that one right up the middle, but Colon in the perfect spot for the first out of the inning. So another hard hit ball by the Tigers, but just wrong placement.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that one, Brian. Seen Holloway have a handful of at-bats the past 2 games. It seems like he's had a pretty consistent approach trying to pull things to the left side of the infield. Hasn't worked out a ton for him. Comes up, steps into the batter's box, and that at-bat changes his approach. Has a really hard hit ball, unfortunately, just right at the second baseman of the Bulldogs.
Now at the plate, Jack Vonderhaar sees the first pitch for a ball. Vonderhaar in for Michael Goodrich at first base and hitting 7th now. Vonderhaar also did not play on Sunday, so the first time we've seen him in a couple of games. We'll see if he can bring his power bat and possibly tie this game with one swing. Looks at that one low. Tigers have plenty of people in this lineup who can tie this game up with one swing. Just got to get that right moment. We'll see if this 2-0 count for the first baseman is that moment. Beard ready for the 2-0. Vonderhaar takes a big swing, fouls it straight back.
And certainly a good pitch to try and tie this ball game up with. It's in on the hands of Vonderhaar, but that's exactly where he wants it. Just unable to get the barrel on the baseball. That one looked like it continued to tail in on the hands of the lefty hitter at the plate.
And Vonderhaar's last home run exactly a month ago, March 27th at St. Thomas. Takes that ball high. We'll have a 3-1 count to work with. Vonderhaar had 5 home runs in about the first month of action, but has not had one in the month of April. Would be a good time for one now. But instead, Vonderhaar, patient at the plate, draws the all-important walk. Works just as well as a home run to get things going.
Yeah, I could really tell you were trying to will that one into existence. I definitely would have appreciated it right there, too. We talked so much about how exciting this game was going to be, the fact that these two teams combined for 25 runs when they met a week ago today. Just haven't had that today.
Yeah, I don't know how good I am at willing things into existence. As you said, I was talking all about the high-scoring game we were going to have, and here we are, 2-1 in the 8th. But just as fun, a pitcher's duel. Met swinging at the first pitch, over to the right side. Right fielder charging in after Colon dropped one in a similar spot. So this time Cauley all the way in from the outfield for the second out of the inning.
And a tough break. Seems like the Tigers have put a ton of balls in that exact position right there. Had a little bit of luck earlier in the game as they had one fall in, but for the most part, Bulldogs have been very sure-handed defensively, and those are turning into really easy outs for them.
And another new face here, Nathan Brolick pinch hitting for Matt McNaney. Brolick, who has pinch hit a couple of times recently, including this past weekend against Centenary. Swings at the first pitch and lines it back, so a good swing off the bench. This is Brolick's 8th appearance, has a .286 average on the year, has driven in 6 runs in limited time. Another big swing at that one, unable to connect. Brolick falls behind 0-2. Beard trying to work his way around the one-out walk. The top of the order looming for the Tigers, so a big at-bat for Beard. And he gets a called third strike at the top of the zone. So Beard able to come in from the bullpen and hold on to his lead for the Bulldogs. They are on top 2-1 as we head to the top of the ninth in San Antonio. Stay tuned for what should be an exciting final inning. Once again, you got another look at the D3 baseball rankings. Trinity at the top. This is the final home game for the baseball team. So many of the seasons coming to a close recently. We've had 18 sports happening all at the same time this spring, something that has never happened before. And it's been an amazing experience for everyone on campus trying to find a way to bring this all to you, and the players trying to take advantage of the opportunity to play. And we've had a lot of success here at Trinity. The women's soccer team just recently bringing home the SCAC championship. We had the track and field team, both the men and women, sweeping their SCAC titles as Cam Sheets throws a second ball to Simon Scales. Our golf teams, also men and women, bringing home the SCAC championship. Volleyball this upcoming weekend with a big matchup against Colorado College as Scales sends that one foul. Vonderhaar under it once again, so the first out of the inning for Sheets. But volleyball playing in the championship of their tournament against Colorado College. So if you can sense a theme here, a lot of SCAC championships for Trinity. Luke, what do you have to say about all this success?
Well, it's going to be really fun next year when we can spread it out and enjoy an entire year of sports and have championships in the fall, championships in the winter, and championships in the spring. But just incredibly impressive across the athletic department, something that we have begun to expect year in and year out, but certainly don't want to neglect what's happening right in front of you. And it'll be exciting to be able to get back out and enjoy fans at all those competitions next year.
Absolutely. We miss seeing everyone in the stands, but have been happy to bring you all the action on the Tiger Network. Cam Sheets has a 2-0 count here on Colin Docker, who is 3 for 3 on the day out of the number 9 hole in the lineup. Takes a strike there. All that recent success doesn't even take into account some earlier success in the semester. The women's cross-country team bringing home the SCAC championship. Our women's basketball team, swimming and diving, also bringing in conference titles as Docker sends that one a long way but foul. So absolutely very excited to have hopefully a normal fall, winter, spring setup next year. But before that, baseball still with the opportunity to bring home a conference championship and more, as the spring sports will have the opportunity to have an NCAA tournament. The 2-2 to Docker is sent in the air to left. Staub coming in. Gets the second out of the inning. So Sheets, in his first appearance, doing well to keep the Bulldogs right where they're at, trying to give Trinity one last chance at things, down just one in the top of the ninth. Tigers ranked number 1 in the country and setting themselves up for a conference tournament run that will coincide with the 5-year anniversary of a national championship back in 2016. Molly swinging at the first pitch there. Molly 0 for 4 on the day from the top of the lineup. He had a tough time against Alex Bin, who came out of the bullpen in the first inning. Now facing another lefty in Sheets, who's also making his first appearance for the Tigers. That ball in the dirt. And Molly sends the 1-1 to Wisniewski over there at short. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for Sheets and the Tigers. We're headed to the bottom of the ninth. Top of the order up for the Tigers. They're trying to tie this game up at 2, maybe win on a walk-off. We shall see how the Tigers end their final home game of the year after this quick break. Another new pitcher on the mound for the Bulldogs looking to close things out. It is Blade Strelsic, who has not allowed a run in 5 innings pitched this year. And he has a tough task ahead of him, not only trying to hold on to a 1-run lead, but having to do so against the top of the Tigers' order. Rafe Chomet at the plate to start things off. A good one throughout between two rivals, just 30 minutes apart from each other. And Chomet swings at the first pitch, fouls it back.
Yeah, I gotta love the approach by Chomet right here. Looking to get on base. Starts his swing early right there, knowing he's more than likely going to see some pitch down the middle. Seen him late on some pitches so far.
That ball way outside for ball 1. Just a week ago today, the Tigers pulling out a 1-run victory over the Bulldogs in Seguin. A 1-run game once again. Rafe flying that out, but the wind playing around with it. But the out is recorded. Caleb Molly able to find that in fair territory. So Chomet retired to start the inning. And we've got a pinch hitter here for the Tigers, Ezra Gore, batting for Colt Harris in the second spot in the order.
Yeah, Brian, and every time Gore steps into the batter's box, we like to speculate a little bit, knowing what great speed he has, always with the potential to lay down a bunt, but swings the bat incredibly well.
And he swings out the first pitch, and he's hustling down the line. Jimenez able to get the throw over there in time, though. So the speedy Gore retired on one pitch, and the Tigers are down to their final out. Definitely a big out for Strelsic. Gore, with incredible speed, would have been a problem on the base pass. Instead, 2 outs, nobody on. Jack Wisniewski to the plate, 2 for 4 on the day, hitting .381 on the year, and leads the Tigers with 38 runs batted in. Had a home run on Sunday. Can he come up with something similar here? First pitch to Wisniewski, fouled back. You can hear the Bulldogs dugout making a lot of noise for their pitcher Strelsic, trying to pull out a big victory over the top-ranked team in the country. The Tigers just ahead of Wash U, and the rain now starting to come down. That ball just high for a ball. So as if there were not enough drama here, the rain deciding to make an appearance with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. You gotta love baseball. Strelsic, the 1-1 to Wisniewski. High once again, Wisniewski with a 2-1 count. Wisniewski back in the box. And he swings at that one foul. So a 2-2 count. The Tigers down to their final strike. Tigers lost Sunday afternoon against Centenary after taking 2 of 3 from the Gents. Bulldogs coming off a sweep of Shriner. Now trying to win on the road in San Antonio. Strelsic's 2-2 on the way. Foul back, staying alive. Wisniewski stepping outside the box, trying to get a little bit of dirt on his hands with the rain coming down a little bit. Strelsic, meanwhile, ready to go on the rubber. And here we go with the 2-2. And just low. The Bulldogs dugout wanted it. Strelsic wanted it. Umpire didn't give it to him.
Yeah, I see the replay right here. Definitely low underneath Wisniewski's knees right there. Expect the veteran hitter at the plate to have a really good sense of the zone. Does a great job to push it full and give himself a chance right here.
And the 3-2 is popped up in the infield. Jimenez at shortstop gets the final out of the game. So the Bulldogs come down to San Antonio and knock off the top-ranked Trinity Tigers in a 2-1 game. Texas Lutheran scoring 2 runs on 5 hits, just 1 error. They left 8 men on base, lots of opportunities, but they got the ones that counted. Meanwhile, the Tigers with just 1 run, 7 hits, no errors, and left 11 men on base. Luke, what a game to finish off this home season for the Tigers.
Yeah, absolutely. A really fun one to watch. Unfortunate that the Tigers came out on the losing end of this one, but for both sides, I think that this will be a confidence booster as they move forward, looking to finish both of their seasons strong. For TLU, always nice to get a rivalry win. For the Tigers, really impressed by the pitching performance in this one, specifically out of some guys that we hadn't seen a whole lot this year. I think that that's the most exciting thing for the Tigers, something to build upon. And hopefully they can repeat that type of effort this weekend when they go to Southwestern, looking to finish out SCAC play strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex Bin with 5 2/3 innings pitched out of the bullpen, struck out 7 and allowed just 1 run in his first collegiate appearance. Cam Sheets followed that up with his very first appearance. Through 2 2/3 innings, did not allow a run and struck out 2 against a potent TLU offense that was held down for the most part, except for a game-winning home run by Randy Huerta that was ultimately enough for this 2-1 victory. It has been an amazing season here on the Tiger Network, bringing you Trinity Baseball. This is the final time that we will be with you on the broadcast. For Luke Terry and everyone at Tiger Network, I'm Brian Jenselson. Have a great night.